I might not even have an editor today because I needed to bring this video right here to my tribe member. So if there's an intro, that means I had an editor today. If there's no intro, it's just you and me, baby. Listen, tribe, I had to tap in. I had to tap in. I knew last night I was writing all day and then I couldn't sleep. So around 2:30 I tap into YouTube. Now generally when I'm tapping into YouTube I watch documentaries, history channel. My taste in YouTube is really it's not jazzy at all. But as soon as I tapped in, because I had watched a couple of weeks ago the Carisha Please with Sean P. Diddy Combs, it automatically recommended it to me as soon as I piped in. And I want to say that this video that I'm making today, I piped in specifically for this video. No editor, no intro, no fanciness, just me and my tribe talking. Listen, what I saw in that video with Kevin Gates, who, by the way, I don't really know much about. I don't know his music. I remember, I don't know, but maybe about 6 years, 7 years ago, a friend of mine, Dee, said, Reem, this guy, I really like his style. I like him. And I wasn't really feeling his vibe at the time. I really didn't vibe with him. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's cute. But she was like, no, 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 he's on a whole nother level. And I was like, oh, okay. Kind of dismissive in a way because I didn't really see what she was seeing, right? I saw what she was seeing, but sometimes Dee be way ahead of me, so I couldn't really see what she was seeing. But what I saw yesterday with my own two eyes really made me make this video for you guys today, okay? Here in this country, it is necessary for us to understand how important it is for men to be able to be themselves completely, okay? What was done in that 1 hour or so, I'm not sure if it was an hour, I think I fell asleep around the 40 something minute mark, I'm not really sure. What was done in that 1 hour took me 25 years, seven books and four CDs later to articulate. He was able to articulate all of those things in that 1 hour. And if someone can look at that with an unbiased eye, an unjudgmental eye, and fragment it, cut it down into bite-sized pieces, there was so many jewels there that I was just like, I gotta pipe into my tribe. I gotta tell my tribe what I saw. What I saw was a example of the divine masculine and the divine feminine having a meeting. Hear me and listen to me very good, okay? You guys know I've been saying that you cannot buy femininity at a store. It is not what you put on your body, it is what comes from you. What Carisha was able to do was to be seated in her femininity as raw and uncut and unrefined as it is, as unsophisticated as it is. It is completely 100% the unfiltered version of what femininity really is, outside of all of the makeup, outside of all the wigs and the hair and all of that. She has something that is intangible, and that is she has the ability to disarm the masculine. Not only was she able to disarm him, but she gave him permission to be himself. Okay? And when she gave him permission, she smiled. She had fun with him. She was light. They were able to have some difficult conversations where he knew he was going to be judged, but he was free enough to be himself. That is what I mean when I say divine feminine and divine masculine. It is those things. It's when you let your ego down and you're able to be yourself and unafraid. That is divine feminine. That's divine masculine. They were having a meeting, and my mind was like, I've been trying to do this for 20 years and they did it in 1 hour. Listen, the last time we had something that was as impactful, and let me tell you what I mean by as impactful. There was a guy who's now on the other side of the game. He's now an ancestor now, who was able to create a conversation within our communities, whether we liked them or not. It created conversation. This video here is going to do the same exact thing. I am pleased. The ancestors are pleased. It was. Not only did we see a man who was vulnerable, a man who had some traumatic experiences, a man who was at a very young age was experiencing a life that otherwise would break some people. We saw him raw, uncut, unfiltered, and really free. He was really free. And what I've been trying to teach in this whole divine femininity is the ability to allow people grace, allow them to have freedom, because we're all human. And I saw an imperfect human and I couldn't stop smiling. I believe I smiled for at least 35 minutes of the interview. I was like watching the video, smiling at how open and how free he was. But what was even more satisfying is that what a lot of people will fail to see is that the only way he was able to be that free as a man, as the masculine energy, it was not solely dependent on him, but he had a woman who was seated in her femininity as disruptive, as unrefined as she is, as raw as she is, she still possessed the intangibles of femininity that I've been trying to get people to understand. She gave him permission to let go. Do you understand that there's a certain energy that needs to be present for a man to be that vulnerable, that free, and that himself? And that is what I am talking about when I am talking about divine masculine and divine feminine, the things that God gave us naturally, where we are free enough to be ourselves, where the feminine in me gives you permission to be the masculine in you, but not so masculine where you are full of full of machismo, and ego, but where you are free enough to be disarmed. In the Lori Harvey video, I told you that that moment that she had with Jay-Z, and she was looking at him and she had that head tilted, she had disarmed him, so he was able to have a moment of just truth. And then he snapped back out of it, because then it's, oh, wait, I can't be that free because I'm married, right? Yeah. Well, that's what I saw in Carisha when she smiled the entire interview. And I said this to you guys in my last video of her and Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? I said that she smiles while she's laughing, right? That gives men permission to be disarmed. That's femininity. That is femininity. Femininity that, we put on a dress, we do this, we do that. Me with my red lipstick today, that, because I was feeling the vibes or whatever. But this is not what femininity is, you know. Femininity is my ability to disarm someone, okay? So that they can truly be themselves and be free. Giving people permission to be themselves in front of you is a level of femininity that not many women are able to have. And no, it's not about how you talk, you know the period and all of that, right? She has the intangible things, the things that you can't buy at a store. And listen to me, I said we have to give people grace, and I said that by the time this girl is 35, she's going to be something awesome. That's because she is walking into her femininity. She is walking and learning on her journey. She's not perfect, and that's what's so attractive to men, is that she has not arrived. And if you haven't seen that in that video, I want you to go back and watch it. Can I play a clip here? Or I don't have an editor today. If I don't have an editor today, there won't be a clip here. If I have an editor today, can we put a clip in here somewhere where this woman was smiling and talking, and he was smiling and talking back, and he said, I love this show. I love this show. It was like a kid. It was like a free spirit. And this is what divine masculinity looks like. Divine masculinity looks raw. It doesn't look perfect. It's completely imperfect. It's on a journey. It is exploring. It is evolving. Even when I hear him speak about his religion, and I see him speaking about why he wore his feathers, and I see him speaking about his woman, I see that it's completely imperfect. That's what's so magical about it, is that it's imperfect. It's not 100% right, but that's what makes it great. He's on a journey, and it is so refreshing to see men that okay with themselves, that they can be imperfect. They can be imperfect. Women can be imperfect. We're able to have conversations. Men talking about sexuality. okay? Talking about their trauma, okay? In a safe enough space for them, okay? Based on their own experiences, okay? Men being able to be vulnerable, men being able to be themselves, men understanding that them being themselves is going to put them, put their head on a guillotine, okay, in front of the town square. Remember I talked about that in that marriage video. I'm like, don't put my husband's head on the guillotine in the town square, that kind of thing. He knew that's what he was doing, but he was completely free enough to do it. When he said, I love this show like a kid, I was like, this is what I'm talking about when I say this is what femininity does. Now, keep in mind that there's a level of freedom that he, of course, himself had to have, but she gave him permission to be that. This is the conversation we need to have. What they did in that 1 hour, I have been trying to articulate for 20 years, which means that this guy who's a rapper, okay, he has a greater impact. He's here for a reason, and he said it himself, his mission. We need more people like this, okay? Where they know they're not completely mainstream and they're completely okay speaking from their own perspective. We need more people like it. I applaud Kevin Gates. I don't know much about him other than what he shared in that video, which I couldn't stop smiling, you guys. I was smiling the entire video. I literally was like, smiling the entire time because I saw a man seated in his divine masculinity. I saw a woman seated in her divine femininity. And I also saw that they both were raw, uncut, and there is a level of sophistication that they have there, so it allows growth, okay, there. But the beauty and the magic happens when there is space enough to grow and to expand, to get refined and to take out all the dusty pieces. And it was just so beautiful to see a man from his environment be that open. Now, did I agree with everything he said? No, but that's what makes it beautiful. What did I agree with? Some of the things that he mentioned about his family and his cousin and all that, that's neither here nor there. What I completely agreed on, and the reason why I'm making this video, is that I saw a woman who was against all odds, sitting in a position and in a space where she was able to create a space free enough for a man to be stripped of his ego and his pride, so to speak, and be himself, as unfiltered, unadulterated, as unapologetic as he was. It was a joy to see. As an elder, more conversations like these need to be had. He wasn't regurgitating what the masked men were seeing. And I'm going to get a challenge to my girls out there watching. Those of you who watched the video from the other day, based on the whale, the penguin, the boar, the honeybee, I want you, based on if you saw that video yesterday, what do you think the personality traits of Kevin Gates were, based on how he expressed himself, what he shared about himself, based on what you learned in that last video? I want you to put in the comments what personality type you think he exhibited, okay? And why? And I want to send you a signed autograph copy of my book. Okay? I want to send it to you. Put it in the comments, because the whole purpose of me doing these videos on this channel is so that we can change the conversation within our culture, so that we can give each other grace and growth, and allow ourselves to be able to learn something new. So based on what he shared in that video with Kevin Gates and Carisha, okay, I want you to put in the comments what personality he was, okay? Even if you have to go to the book to view it up, sure, you can do that. But I want you to put in the comments what personality type or male personality type you believe he was. Is he the honeybee, based on what he said? Okay? He said he's pretty free. Okay. Is that the honeybee? Uh, the whale who is going to enjoy love, passion, and all of those things. Remember in that video I said that the whale is going to be experiencing all kinds of joys and passions and all of that. But also remember what I said about the penguin and how he loves forever. Kevin Gates said that he's going to love his I think her name is Drika Gates. I don't know. You guys know her name. Is that his kid's mom? Does he have kids with her? I don't know. But share that in the comments below. But he did mention that he said, that's my best friend. And I was like, okay, one check for Penguin. All right. That's my best friend. For she's going to always, he said that about her, right? The Penguin. I want you guys to take a look at all of the male personality types, characteristics, and I want you to based on what you saw in that video, I want you to drop down in the bottom. And if a few of you or a couple of you guys get it right, I'm just going to put the name or the channel or have you in a little thingy. I'll come back here and I'll announce it and I'll send you a free autographed copy of the book, The Return of the Divine Feminine. Because what we witnessed yesterday was my book in total. It was not even just my book in total. It was my entire career experience on this journey. And it was beautiful to see. Now, this video doesn't have an editor, so I got to pipe out because I don't want to have any like jump edits and all that. I don't know how to do all those extra things. But I wanted to share that with you guys. These conversations are necessary. Piping into each other, women allowing men to express themselves. She knows how to not jump in. Oh, I was just like, who taught her that? That allowing him to speak before you cut him off. Go back and watch it, you guys. Even when she had disagreed, she let him complete a sentence, which is very difficult for some women, especially if they don't agree. She waited for him to finish, and then she said, oh my gosh, oh no way, oh, what? She responded, but she allowed him that moment. That is the intangibles of femininity, allowing people to express themselves when they are around you without inserting your opinion immediately. Allow them to complete a thought. Okay, that is a skill that you learn in diplomacy. Okay, that diplomacy skill that we talk about in the Return to Divine Feminine, that's what that does. Being able to build relationship and rapport with people and have a conversation with people, whether you agree or disagree, she was able to do it in a way that was better and best for all parties involved. Isn't that what the book says? So what we saw on display in that video was my book completely. I mean, they summed it up in about 20 minutes. They didn't share all the secrets of Elder Eden, but my gosh, when he talked about the sexuality piece, I wanted to just throw my phone. I'm like, don't you, what? Don't you dare! Don't you dare! And I was excited, and I was like, is the world ready for this? And when I saw him give it, I said, oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah, they are. This is the right messenger. This right here is the right messenger for this group here. This is the right messenger. And let me tell you what I know to be true. He made a few sparks, okay? People are going to want to be interested. They're going to want to know how to make love to their lover. How to connect with one another. Remember I said what we are missing in masculinity and femininity and today? This whole separatism where people want to put women in all one pot and men in all one pot. All men are all the same. All women are all the same. Women want this, men want this. Without looking at who we are as individuals, without giving us grace, without giving us without recognizing that there's the maiden, without recognizing that there's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Okay, this is such a refreshing conversation because the last conversation that we had, and I think I said this already, I'm not sure if I did, but there was an elder who is now transitioned on. He's on the other side of the game. But this ancestor created a conversation within our community. Some of those conversations were scary as all heck, and I'm like, no, 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 no. But then I realized that you can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the yin without the yang. You can't have the up without the down, the left without the right. So opposites must be present, right? So This guy is creating a new conversation, okay? It is allowing the maiden and the mother and the crone. It is allowing women that process, but it's also allowing men the same grace, okay? It's allowing men the same grace, the same freedom. It's allowing men to realize that they are divine creatures as well, you know? You don't have to be so full of macho, and that's in the book, right? I talk about machismo, right? But that is necessary. It's needed. It's the next level of who we are. We are evolving right before your eyes, guys. And I don't know if you guys see it, but this is a part of the plan. The ancestors are pleased. I am pleased. It was a great interview. And like I said, do I agree with 100% of it? That doesn't matter. What matters is that the conversation is started. It's started. And if you don't have the Return of the Divine, I can't even say put it right there because I don't have an editor today. But you guys know the book, The Return of the Divine Feminine. I'll try to put it down in the description below, and I'll try to also add. I might know how to do it, or I could call my son to tell me how to add the link to that channel or that video below so that you guys can watch it and get an understanding of it. I want you to have an unbiased eye, a non-judgmental eye, and I want you to just be able to watch the energy that's being exchanged between this man and this woman, how freeing it is, how she allows him to, how she has a full stop at the end of her sentences so she gives him permission to share even more, okay? How soft and feminine it is when she allows him to be able to do that. Listen, it does not look like the femininity that you are used to, but this is the real deal, okay? This is the real deal. And I'm going to go. But before I go, I want to share something with my tribe members. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys because without an ear, my words mean nothing, okay? Without an ear, my words mean nothing. My son and I were talking about the analytics on my channel yesterday. The last video that we did, okay, that video had an average watch time of 20 minutes. The best since I've been here on YouTube, okay? A 20-minute watch time. When YouTube saw that the average view was 20 minutes, it started to push the video out even further, okay? By the time we had 90 views, we had already had 20 likes, okay? Now, what happened between the 100 mark and the 200 mark, okay? My son was able to explain it to me. He said, Mom, as you get more views, your average watch time hours go down. But I saw it go down from 20 minutes to 9 minutes. It was cut in half. But then we looked even further into the analytics, okay? Where are these views coming from? Are they external? Are they coming from mobile phones? Are they coming from computers, PCs? We were able to look at it. Is it coming from shares? We were able to look at it. Is it coming from people going to their watch history? Videos that they watched before, are they rewatching the same video? Are they pulling it from their playlist? And we were able to break it down. And I was able to see that there was 55 of the views that were viewed from the same space. Okay? So I said to my son, why does that happen? Why would 55, one space, one person watch one video 55 times? And then not watch it for as long? And he said, Mom, you're in YouTube land. It's not going to be all, all nice, right? I'm like, wait a minute. Why would it not be, what I create, And he gave me a real good wake-up call, and I wanted to share this with my tribe members, right? When you guys watch a video completely, know that there's someone who's not. Because if your video has a lower watch time, YouTube is less likely to push it organically, okay? But when your video has a large watch time, YouTube is going to push that video to more people. And so you get more exposure, okay? And your channel begins to grow. You guys have heard me say, I say this, right? I'm not really into the growth thing. So that really, when I was telling my son about it, I said, well, that kind of thing will be done in the wrong channel. That doesn't work on someone who really doesn't care about those things. I want to understand it, but I don't really care about it. So you would do that to a person who cared, right? Not to someone who don't. What I care more about, and I need my tribe to understand this, this is coming from my heart. What I care more about is that we find our tribe. Real, good, positive people on a journey for self-development, exploration, refinement, and a life full of joy and happiness and peace and prosperity and all of those things. This is not the channel that anybody needs to sabotage, because I don't care about those things. I don't care about fame. I don't care about notoriety. I don't care about those things. What I care about more than anything is reaching the right people. I need to find a couple of students to pass the torch over to. That's what I care about. I don't need 1,000 million views. That's not Karima McGee. What I care about is that when I open up my wellness center again, okay, is that I have teachers who are able to, how do they call it, boots on the ground, right? That's what we call it in the recruiting world, boots on the ground. I want to be able to have my teachers go out and teach. So if you're watching this and you're watching it so that, with malicious intent, I don't know, I don't think like that. That's not my thought process. But if that is the thought process behind making sure that the average video view time goes down, I don't know. If that is the case, then this channel, we don't operate like that. I don't really care. What I care about is that I reach the right people at the right time. So when it's time for me to hang up my hat officially, open up my wellness doors again, that the legacy and the lessons and the things that I taught continues on. That's all I want. The rest of the stuff you guys can have. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well. I'm sure there's not going to be an ending because I don't have an editor. Bye.